Why do we play World of Warcraft? It's a question that I've been thinking about recently after capping in TPC and starting to prepare for the endgame. And I felt a sharp decline in wanting to log in after getting to level 70. And to be honest, it's something that happens a fair amount when I'm playing WoW. I tend to get to the level cap and do some of the early endgame stuff, and then slowly my interest wanes and I either make a new character or I take a little break from World of Warcraft. And I guess I've had the thought recently that maybe I don't play WoW for the same reasons that a lot of people do. I know a lot of people nowadays are focused on endgame and progression and their bisque grind and all of stuff like that. But genuinely, when I think about my most fun and entertaining times in WoW, it's been going on adventures either by myself or with friends, leveling up, exploring the world, and just having fun. I don't really care about item levels. I don't really care about epics, to be honest. Of course, they're cool when they drop, but for me, it's something about the journey that trumps the endgame experience. And that's not to say that the endgame experience isn't valid, or people that play for that reason isn't valid. But for me, it's something about entering the world again as a fresh character. Everything seems big, and you've got a goal. And yeah, I understand that you have a goal at level 60 or level 70 or whatever it may be, but it feels different. And maybe it's the trickled dopamine points and the XP that you get over the leveling journey that is what makes the game fun for me, perhaps. But I think it comes back to the fact that when I played WoW when it first came out back in 2004, no one really knew what they were doing apart from some of the real elite guilds, and there was only ever one or two of them on the server, and obviously they were often called elitist jerks, which is where that forum came from, where a lot of the people who were min-maxing back in 2005. But for the majority of us, we were kind of just exploring the world, and no one really knew what they were doing. People were just exploring and doing things. There didn't seem to be a rush to the top level. It was just enjoy the game and see what happens. For some people, that might sound like an awful experience, but for me, I think that's what I've been chasing all these years. When Classic came out, when Anniversary came out, and for a majority of it, I've got that. I've found little communities in the game. I've enjoyed the leveling experience. I've leveled with people, and it's been a whole lot of fun. But I feel the same things that I always feel. I'm logging in less. I'm looking for other ways to play WoW. I'm starting to play a bit more hardcore. I've even looked at playing some Classic Era. We're currently on a Classic Era realm, and it just makes me wonder. And I guess that's the question I want to ask you guys is, am I in the minority or the majority? Sometimes I feel like I'm in a minority when I see the discussions online about how people play the game, and even, the min-maxing, it starts early now. It's not just for top-tier raiders, it's for people doing endgame dungeons and heroics, and I don't know, it feels very gatekeepy, and to be honest, I don't think I want to cross that gate. People must think it's a madness, leveling a character over and over again in the same game for 20 plus years, but I get something from it that's more fun and more interesting and deeper than I ever do trying to push progression. I'm happy with the raids that I've done. I tend to do the early raids. I've done Ragnaros on Classic when it was current content. I hope to do Karazhan in TBC. But do I have the real push to get all the way to Sunwell? Honestly, not really. So is the journey better than the end game? Well, better is a subjective word, isn't it? I tend to get more from it, I think. And I'm interested to hear what you guys think. I get the feeling maybe I'm not in the minority, coming to think of it. And maybe that the reason I feel like I'm in the minority is because of online spaces which have the loudest voices, or, they talk in a very min-maxy, pushing progression kind of way. But when I see, the random people in the world and the people just playing and leveling, they all seem pretty chill and casual. There's always going to be a split between the casual and the hardcore community, of course. And that's fine. It's great that the game can cater to two kinds of people. But I don't know. I guess this is a way of me saying that there's probably going to be more characters to come on the channel. Some more leveling experiences, I think, just because I just love being in this world. It is more than a game to me. There is something about it. Something about the community that I love. I love being in the world. I love I don't know. I love leveling. I am a leveler, I think. And I think I always will be. So yeah, that's that. Once again, one of those videos, I'm not really sure what the point of this was. Just felt like a little bit of a late night ramble. I'd be interested to hear what you guys think. Let me know, and I will see you in Azeroth very, very soon. Bye for now.